And once again, this is Jay Taft with your weekly sports podcast, Not Just a Game. And this week, as we've done previously at times, we may post this to YouTube as well. We have a great guest for you. Everybody's going to enjoy listening and seeing our guest for this week, who is Sophie Brunner. Welcome, Sophie. I'm so glad you could join us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on your podcast.
Sophie is a former Freeport Aquin who led them to back-to-back State 1A titles. What was that, 2012 and 2013?
Yep.
And then you went on to Arizona State. Heck, you were all Pac-12 again 3 times? Were you?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, and I know you made the all Pac-12 all academic list. I think 3 times. You were then signed by the WNBA Phoenix Mercury, played a few games in the WNBA, went on over to Italy, and just had such an interesting last couple of years over there. And that's where I want to catch up or start this conversation off with, because give us a quick little brief overview on what brought you to Italy and how those last couple years were, and then that'll obviously lead us into March 11th or 12th and the mayhem that ensued from there. So break it down for us, Sophie.
So I went over in 2017 to Torino. It's about an hour from Milan. That was my first year overseas, and then the last 2 years I was in Milan with a great club, great organization. It was actually really hard to leave and say no to another contract there, but I just felt in my heart it was kind of time to keep moving and going to coaching. But I'm sure we'll get to that later.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, anyways, the last year of playing over there, I just kind of knew that I wanted to probably be done playing soon. And I really enjoyed my last year. Love the people there. The food's amazing. It's just a gorgeous country. And I loved my experience. I'll probably visit hopefully once a year, if not once every couple of years, because I have made a lot of great friends. But yeah, the last couple of months of living there was obviously a little crazy with the coronavirus happening. I think they shut down their schools February 15th, so about a month before we did in America. So we played our last game with fans that week in February, and then our last game in general was the first week in March. And in that 2-week time period, we just practiced, we didn't play, and then we only played 1 game without fans, and they pretty much called it. It's obviously getting really bad. Other countries, were starting to shut down. The borders were starting to shut down, and I was like, I should probably go home. So then I headed home, and second week of March, was in that whole big O'Hare mess.
Right.
4 hours later.
How long in O'Hare? And
it's crazy. And I didn't catch anything. I didn't get a cold. I didn't, nothing. So that was a miracle.
Now you self-quarantined yourself for 2 weeks once you got back, right?
Yeah, I did. We have a family friend in Stockton. I stayed at their house. They're snowbirds. So I stayed there for 2 weeks, which was really nice of them and generous. And then after that, I went home, and yeah, it was kind of weird. I felt like I was I told a lot of people this, but I felt like I was going back in time, because it was like when I got home is where we were a month ago in Italy. So it was like the whole shock of the environment, like the culture of people, thinking everything's just going crazy. And it obviously has been crazy and stuff. So it's been very real. Actually, recently it's been pretty sad. One of my good friends' grandpa recently passed away of COVID, so it's kind of gotten real. But yeah. So
with that, it got real a while ago. If folks don't remember, Italy really got hit hard.
Yeah.
Initially, the initial wave took Italy by storm, and I think that's right when you kind of got out of there, right?
Yeah, it was. That's when where I lived in the actual region was a hot spot. So it was like the craziest thing. Like, you couldn't leave your city. They were fining people, and yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Oh, my goodness, you'll never forget that adventure. Mm-hmm. And in the end, that ended up being your last stint as a professional basketball player in Italy. You mentioned that you had kind of been thinking that maybe that was coming. Did you know? So you did kind of know before COVID hit and before all the pandemic that that was might be your last season?
No, I was actually hoping to finish one more year in
Oh,
Australia.
okay.
Yeah. And then I don't know, something in my heart was just like, I think this is just a good time to just be done. It just felt right, just to be done. And the thought of not having to leave in August was a really nice feeling. First time in like 7 years, with going to school in Arizona, not having to leave would be good. Um, Not to say that I don't want to maybe one day move somewhere else out of Illinois or something, but just for the next couple of years to be around home will be very nice. So yeah, when I got home, the person I'll be coaching with at Rockford Christian had kind of, just thrown out the idea, just kind of like as a joke. And then end of April, I kind of talked to him and I was just like, hey, I think I'm going to be actually done playing. So if if we really want to do this, let's do it. And so, yeah.
And
And
that's Ted, right?
yeah. And then we,
Yeah, just to set this table, folks, this is Sophie, and how do you pronounce Ted's
Ted
last name?
Lover. Yeah, Ted Lover. A lot of people don't know him, but you will soon. He's a very good, person. He played college basketball. He knows a lot about the game. So I'm really excited to learn from him. He's also an athletic director in Ohio when they used to live there. So he knows his stuff. So I'm excited. It's a good group at Rockford Christian. A lot of room for improvement, good opportunity to help them grow, and it's a Christian school. So I love that part about it too.
Ted has just a neat resume, and it sounded like they they were out there looking for their next coach, and Ted came first. And kind of break down how you got involved with that as well. Because I don't think it was Ted that came to you, was it?
Well, so they had a lot of applicants apply, which was really good for the program, good for the school. And I feel honored that we got it. But Ted kind of was looking for a female assistant. He knew he wanted a female assistant. So he told me, he was like, I think kind of with or without me, he was probably going to apply anyway. But he was kind of like, if you want to do it with me, I would love to have you on board. So it just felt like the right fit. I become close family friends with their family, and we have like a mutual family friend too. His sister and brother-in-law are good family of mine as well, and their daughter goes to Rockford Christian. So kind of all just felt right, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I think he wants to stay for quite a little bit, and I'm excited to learn under him.
So Sophie Brunner, assistant varsity basketball coach for the girls team at Rockford Christian High School, coming up very soon. Have you had some Zoom meetings with your team? How do you start things off now? It's tricky.
No, isn't it? It's such a weird time. Actually, we have not yet. I think we will soon. I know Ted's getting very anxious and excited to do something, and now with like IHSA allowing you to do some things with your team and stuff like that, it's nice. So I'm sure we'll have a parent meeting and a team, parent player meeting soon. I know the girls, I think a couple of them I've heard are excited. I'm excited. Ted's obviously super excited. And yeah, we just want to, get started, get going with what we want to do. And hopefully by the time basketball season comes around that, you can have more fans in attendance. Hopefully things are better with the virus. So
You must be like a kid on Christmas morning with this kind of situation. I mean, you've been out there running sprints and busting your butt in the weight room all the time, and now you get to kind of flash the orders. You get to play the other role. What you've grown into such a leader. I mean, you've been a leader on the basketball court, kind of a coach on the basketball court since you were how old? It's just it should be just a nice smooth transition, right?
Yeah, I definitely think I've grown since high school. I was kind of vocal in high school, but it was with my best friends that I'd been playing with all my life. So it's very comfortable. And then going to college, I kind of learned what a leader really is. First off, from my coaches, I had 4 very strong female coaches. And then I had great leadership in seniors. I had my freshman year. I still admire them. And then just, going down the line, juniors and sophomores and stuff like that. So I got really lucky with the people I was surrounded by, great leaders, mentors. Can't thank them enough because it's really helped me grow into who I am as a leader, but also as a person. I just feel more confident and strong in what I do and who I am because of that. So I think that's going to help for sure in this next role because I think eventually I've also been, a side note, I've been helping coach club basketball with Rockford Heat this summer. So that's been another thing that's helped me. And I think just with that, I know I want to get into coaching, even maybe at the college level. So it's another thing to look forward to. But yeah, I want to start with high school and just, see if I like that level, do it maybe for a couple of years and see how that goes. And yeah, kind of just see what happens from there.
It's such the natural progression with somebody that's been a court leader like you. Also, give us a little take on kind of self-scout yourself. What type of player were you in your history of hoops? Like if you were looking at yourself from the outside, break it down for us that way.
I would say I wasn't like a super, I'm not going to take you one-on-one full court with all these flashy moves. I was not gifted in that way, but I was definitely gifted by God in a very strong way, like down low for sure. I feel like I could go head to head with anyone, and I was very confident in my ability to take them down per se. But I would say just a hard worker, doing the little things, paying attention, just having a strong basketball IQ and being smart about the game, very aware. I've noticed definitely my last 3 years. So I'm playing basketball. So my 3 years of playing professional, I've grown so much in the game. Like I just see things I've never seen before in like kind of what I'm doing. So I'm looking forward to applying that knowledge. But yeah, I would definitely say just a hard worker. I like to battle, be physical. I love being a teammate. That's my favorite thing ever, is just being a really good teammate. I take a lot of pride in that. And learning from my coaches. So yeah, I always loved basketball. It never felt like a job to me. It never has felt like, my parents never told me I had to play it. In fact, they would just be like, yeah, do what we support you. And half the time, people know my parents. My dad's very laid back. My mom's wild and crazy, talks the whole time during basketball games. So it's a good mixture. I never felt any pressure from them. Just love and support, also from the amazing community I grew up in. So yeah.
You were so much fun to watch. And I think that I've talked to each of your coaches up and down the line throughout your career, and every single one of them would always either point to the head or talk about your IQ and your knowledge of the game, and just how it would slow down for you. I think that comes with someone who just knows the game so well. It's almost like what's going to happen before it happens. You've always had that little instinct in you. How do you pass that on now to your little mentors who are going to be running up and down the court here, as you're going to be dressed up? What are you going to wear during games now? I mean, you're going to have to wear something different.
I take pride in how I'm looking now. So no, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I'm excited for that part, look a little nice during games. Yeah, no, I'm also a very like hands-on person. So I plan on, scrimmaging with them in practice. Like when I do ball handling with our club team, I do it with them. Some drills I'll show them first. I'll go game speed and then I'll have them do it. And I've just found in my experience, when I know a coach can do it, it just always felt more like I wanted to do it harder. Just like, wow, my coach can do it. Like I want to do it. So I kind of take pride in that, being able to stay in good shape and do the things. Like I don't want to ask any of my players to do something I can't do, type of thing. So, but yeah, with the whole IQ thing in basketball, it definitely comes, as you get older. I think a lot of people have to work at it, and there's a few that can just kind of get it right away. So I think yeah, and I think kind of helping those ones that get it right away understand their role in the sense of helping your teammates now. So it's not so much me having to do it, it's kind of me mentoring them and kind of helping them do it. But I think breaking down film, Ted's very smart with basketball and breaking down film and stuff. So I think with both of our brains, we can help them kind of see things. That's how I learned, in college, our coaches are very strict and very precise in things. And at the time it was really annoying because, you know, you felt like you had to be perfect, but in the end, they were just trying to help you be a better basketball player. So
That's the new age, the new
yeah.
age of coaching, the new age of learning the game. Video training is so intense these days. Um, I imagine you can take this program to the next level in a lot of different ways, from the way you've seen it done in so many different levels and in so many different phases. Are you taking things that you've learned from every different aspect of your career here that you think will help in your next step?
Yeah, actually, I am. I've been very blessed with the coaches I've had and the programs I've been playing in, both overseas, in college, in the WNBA, high school. Even before that, I had really good coaches growing up, and Rick Hauser and Gary Erdmeyer. They're some of my good, like some of my best friends' dads, and they helped us since I was in 5th grade. We had to use our left hand, like we could not use our right hand on the left hand side. So it's just little things like that. And then in high school with Jeff Curry, who's passed away sadly, but he was my head coach, and he helped me become the player I've become. And then our assistants, Doral and Bonesy, and then going to college and stuff like that with Charlie and all of my assistant coaches there. I think, I don't know, I think just trying to pass down the knowledge I've gotten from each of them, but also making sure it suits the team we're doing or the team we're working with, and not just, you know, trying to have one exact system and making the team fit into the system instead of making our system fit into what the team needs. And I think sometimes people get that mixed up, and that's where you see a lot of problems, in my opinion. And when a coach is too stubborn to, you know, kind of adapt to their team, that's when they struggle, and the team hates it. The coaches aren't happy. It's just a mess. So I'm excited to kind of apply what I know, but also allow the girls to kind of make it their own, if that makes any sense.
That's one of the bigger challenges, especially at that level, because it's the talent level changes sometimes monthly. You never
No,
know
I know.
what you're
It
going to get.
really does. And
And
yeah.
go.
No, I was just gonna say I admire, like, obviously how we did things at Aquin. I think we had a very great culture in what Curry did. He expected a lot out of us, but he always made it fun. Like one of my best friends, she never even played. She was a captain our senior year, hardly ever played, and that was her favorite coach. It's just how you make people feel is half of it, especially with girls in high school. It's a big time of development and self-confidence, and I think you can damage them if you don't do it right. So it's a very fragile role that you play as a leader, especially as a coach. So I'm looking forward to taking that very serious. And then Eastland, I love their program. I admire Brinker and Colleen Hensey a lot. So I'm looking forward to taking what I know from them and applying it too. So
Now you're not stepping into some statewide powerhouse here. I was just trying to look it up. I think they were 14-14 last year.
yeah, I don't think they did too well.
Yeah, I had them at 2-9 in the Big Northern.
Yeah.
So, 14-14 is okay. They won a region. Their last regional title was in 2009. You used to pop regional titles like candy. Do you
Yeah,
even
no, that was just
remember
it.
your regional titles? I mean, those were like a.
I will tell you the regional title I remember the most was against Dakota my senior year. I think it was regional, unless it was sectionals. I'm pretty sure it was regionals. I have never, and it was regionals. I was nauseous all day at school. You can't see any of my friends.
Oh.
I thought I was going to be sick. I have never been so nervous in my life to this day for a game.
No kidding.
I don't trust Alicia Cleaver. I felt like she could go off at any time. She's one of my good friends.
Yeah, the Brunner Cleaver matchup in the playoffs. And what'd you do? Go off for 42 and 18 and 10?
I don't really know. All I know is one, and that's all I cared about. Oh man, it was so nerve-wracking.
There was some fun times. Everybody remembers you. I mean, you're like a local hero, and not just from those type of games that you're talking about, but just from what you've been able to do and build on from that. We've had some great, star athletes from the area, but you've really taken it to the next level. And for you to be bringing it back, you're kind of reeling it back in. You're coming back home, and you're giving back a little bit. Do you feel like that's a little bit of what you're doing here? Is the area that gave you all the start to all this, and now how cool is it for you to be able to give something back?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, especially, I mean, with the Aquin community, it just didn't feel, I don't know, right now it was speaking to me in my heart to go to Rockford Christian and not help with Aquin. And I know they know that. They know they were happy for me and do what I want to do. But I still support them. I'll always be Aquin Bulldog till the day I die.
Sure.
But yeah, it was just something about coming back, and I just felt like I was given so much at a high school age, and that the community, like without the support from the community, I would not have been able to do anything seriously, because they made me feel so confident and so well loved that it's like, well, I have like this army behind me. So worst case scenario, I still have these people with me. That's how I always looked at it.
Mhm.
And I think giving back to this high school level and these girls at Rockford Christian is something that I'm going to take a lot of pride in, because I want to give them the opportunity that I was given, and hopefully give them the experience and help them um, kind of experience what I was able to experience. Maybe not, we might not win state titles and stuff like that, but just like the culture, positive culture, fun culture, what you're going to get your work done, you're going to work hard and you're going to be pushed, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
This has been great stuff. We're with Sophie Brunner, former Freeport Aquin, former Arizona State, former Italian pro star, and now it's come full circle. She's accepted an assistant varsity girls basketball coaching position at Rockford Christian, which has started. Have you actually begun?
Well, I'm technically employed by them as a coach, but we have not started
Getting
anything.
together yet? Okay. Okay. Do you have a shirt yet? You got that?
Not yet. I will soon.
Okay. Yeah, you got to get the garb.
I
Yes,
know.
sir.
My mom's like, Sophie, I need a half step. I'm like, all right. Oh yeah.
last question for me, and thank you again. This has been really cool. You mentioned real quickly that this might be kind of a stepping stone. What do you see yourself doing in 5 years, in 10 years, when you're older like me? What do you think? What do you think you're going to be doing?
I think one of two things. I think either I'm right now in the next year, I'm going to work on getting my teaching license. So I'm going to be a teacher, I think, for a little bit. And then if I love that, further my education and try to work up higher in education. If not, I think college coaching, maybe at the Division II level, maybe Division I, not sure yet. So either teaching and coaching, but I see coaching in my life no matter what. So those are
Could
my
you,
two passions.
how's your Italian? Could you go back and coach in Italy someday? You'd probably have to
Oh,
work on
and
it.
I mean, actually, I think I could, because they have so many foreigners that they need people who speak English.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
Yeah, my Italian, I can understand it really well. I just can't speak it that well because I get bailed out. They all speak English to me, so.
Can you say not just a game in Italian?
No, wait. I can't. I can say, no, I can't. I'm not even good at that.
That's kind of a tough one. That's not like where's the bathroom or I'll have a water. Sophie Brunner, you've been awesome. Thank you so much. Let's do it again. It's,
Yeah,
once you're going to be really in the thick of things here real soon. So let's keep catching up. Let us know how it's going, and we'll keep following you now. And we followed you through your players ranks. Now we'll follow you through your coaching ranks.
thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you always support me.
It's been so much fun. Keep it up. Thank you, Sophie. I
Yep.
appreciate it.
Yep. Have a good one.
You too.